Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/C/Serious Minds RNTV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Serious Minds, seriously. Peace.
You are now listening to Serious Minds RNTV with your host, Professor Griff. The call-in number is 516-654-7688. That's 516-654-7688. This is Professor Griff, and this is Serious Minds RNTV. Serious Minds for Serious Minds. Seriously.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff, Public Enemy, instructor for the USCCA. Today, we're going to talk about safety, training, education, and legal protection. Join us out here on the range to get some training, some education, most of all safety, and definitely if you have to use your firearm, some legal protection. Contact us. Simply go to www.professorgriff.me. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, let me know if y'all can hear me. All right. Quan, what's good? All right, we got Quan on deck. All right, Quan. All right, I don't know how brief this is. This is going to be, pardon me. And well, first greetings to everyone. How y'all doing? I don't know how I was ready at 7 o'clock. Trust me, I was. And I'm getting frantic calls from upstairs. A bird that flew in the house, and yeah, come on, man. All right, now listen. I was just in Mexico at the monkey sanctuary, I think it was. So we went to go see the different kinds of monkeys and that kind of thing. And so they taking pictures, they doing the monkeys jumping on their head and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Okay, so now fast forward to today, a bird. Did y'all know that I was a bird watcher? Did anyone know that? Raise your hand if you knew that. Yeah, I'm guilty. I'm the dude that goes buys the bird seeds, and I got the bird kind of little feeders. Am I the only one? Unless you hard brothers on here just kind of playing hard, y'all don't want nobody to know. Is that the case? No. Oh, YouTube. Okay. Herbal pharmacist, YouTube. I got you. So I'm buying the bird seeds and stuff, and I'm watching the birds. As soon as I take my eye off the birds to come do the show, now the real Dale D, we don't put birds in cages, bro. We don't do that. Anyway, I get the frantic calls. Miss Michi, you got 2 parakeets? Yeah, that's one thing. I let birds be free though, because that's Mike Tyson likes birds. Okay, this is not going to be the bird show. I'm just trying to give y'all a reason why I wasn't on at 7 o'clock. So the bird flew in the house, and now I'm responsible now. After everybody went through the monkey sanctuary, and there's all kind of monkeys jumping on people's heads, and all that kind of stuff, and snakes and goats, and the goat. I was walking, and the goat ran me, and I'm like, bro, what is the situation with me? I ain't bothering nobody. I don't even really want to be here up in your space. But yeah, I think I got some footage of the goat kind of biting my leg and ramming me. I'm like, bro, I'm from New York. We don't even play that like that with goats. Seriously. But anyway, so make a long story short and a short story shorter, I go up there, and they're catching the bird, and the bird's going to do what the bird normally does to defend itself, flap its wings and call for his mama. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to be one of those situations where Mike Tyson's going to reach over the seat and kind of go upside somebody's head, like for messing with the birds. I'm like, okay, so where's my bird catching gloves? Oh, here they go. So I had to go in my tactical stash to get my tactical firearms gloves to go catch the bird. And it's like, wow, come on, man. All right. You got a bird on your hoodie? Yeah, of course I got a bird on my hoodie, man. All right. Yeah, bird on my hoodie, which they stole and put on the dollar bill. But we'll talk about that at another time. Matter of fact, I think I bought this from Red Pill, Blue Pill, one of them. Anyway, that kind of brings us to the subject. And I need y'all to just kind of rock with me for a minute if we can, like just help me out with the subject matter. Okay, so I'm sitting back at 5 to 6 o'clock, 6:30, wrecking my brain on what to talk about, because I don't want to do the average thing that's going on, and I don't know what's going on. I think I heard some stuff on the news, but yeah. And the vast majority of what I'm hearing on the news is almost like the same narrative in order to kind of come after the two-way movement, which is the Second Amendment movement, to take your guns away. All right. This idea now of gun violence. All right. So in Atlanta over the weekend, they was having a Stop the Violence rally. All right, let me see if I can find it. Anyway, Stop the Violence rally in Atlanta. They had someone murdered and got shot at the Stop Violence. Nonetheless, the park that they had it in was Welcome All Park, which is literally walking distance from me. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let me just kind of, matter of fact, yeah. Let me try it like this. Let me do this. Let me share, and then let me go here. All right. Excuse me, Quan. I might be on for an hour tonight. I got to do some catching up. All right, because let me shout out all the people that came to the Bring the Noise firearms class yesterday. Really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much for supporting the platform, for supporting the classes and that kind of thing. Really appreciate that. The next class we have coming up is Guns N' Roses, where we're giving the sisters and the mothers roses as they come on the gun range. You understand what I'm saying? Celebrating motherhood. All right. The mother is the first teacher. All right. All right. So, So, yeah. Police named teen killed near South Fulton Park during the Stop the Violence rally. So there was a Stop the Violence rally, and
at Arrowhead, we see it all the time.
And the person actually
people hurt in car accidents who don't feel pain immediately, so they
shot.
don't see.
Can you imagine that? High officials in South Fulton County having a Stop the Violence rally in the park, and someone gets shot and murdered in the park while they're doing so.
Officers in South Fulton are working overtime to try to find out who shot and killed a teenager in broad daylight at a South Fulton County park while a Stop the Violence rally was going on. Good afternoon. I'm Christine Spiro. Thanks so much for watching today. The medical examiner tells us that teen was in an argument with another man who shot and killed him. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor talked with the rally organizer, who is stunned by the turn of events.
For 11 years since her grandson was killed, Shirley Stembridge has been organizing Stop the Violence rallies. Ironically, just yesterday, during one of those rallies here at Welcome All Park, gunshots rang out.
It was awful. We didn't know what was going on. A lot of people started running.
Shirley Stembridge was lost.
Come on.
For word Sunday when gunfire abruptly interrupted her Stop the Violence rally at Welcome All Park. When the bullets stopped flying, 18-year-old Malik Hambrick was dead. South Fulton City Councilwoman Helen Willis had just finished speaking.
As soon as I got finished speaking, I heard gunshots. I walked over, and there was a young man laying on the ground, slumped over in a pool of blood.
It was terrifying to know that someone had lost their loved one under the same thing that we was out there talking about. Putting the guns down, stop the violence.
Ms. Stembridge started her nonprofit Connecting the Links for Change 11 years ago when her grandson, rapper and artist Devontae Ford, was killed during a double homicide.
My grandson was murdered 2011 on the gun violence. And it was laid on my heart to start the foundation to help the community and other young children.
As South Fulton police work to find the shooter, Ms. Stembridge says she will not be deterred.
I'm going to keep fighting. It did not stop it. We will be out there next year.
South Fulton detectives tell me they are busy working this case. They say they've gotten some good leads, but no arrest as yet. They say if you have any information.
All right. All right. Hold on for a second, fam. Okay. Let me get my screen back. All right, here we go. All right. So that's what was on the news. I didn't want to talk about that because I might get accused of this idea of this trauma porn. Always talking about violence, gun violence, black people dying, that kind of thing. It may traumatize those individuals that are not equipped to kind of handle that kind of news all the time. You click on Serious Minds. I wanted to be able to build a platform that can help educate people, that could help us understand. All right. Thank you. Herbal pharmacist. It's gun safety. All right. So let me just say this, and this is I'm not bucking what the lady is doing because of her son dying due to gun violence. Way before gun violence, there's the idea of conflict resolution that needs to happen. Different ways in order to resolve conflict. All right. Different ways to resolve conflict. Samuel, SOU_SOU. I don't normally talk about the Bible on here because I'm not one of these religious kind of dudes. I tend to go the path of spirituality. All roads, be they many, all lead to one. The journey of the self through the self, back to the self. It's one of those concepts But you're absolutely correct. I'm not sure if I want to call it a curse, but it's the idea now of the mind control techniques that we talked about in the 80s, since I can remember. They probably talked about it prior to Professor Griff, but in the 80s, definitely in the 90s, as we went through the 90s, people were more so, I was witnessing more so the victims and the victimization of the mind control techniques that they talked about, that we talked about in the 80s. I saw it in the 90s, and here it is coming full circle in the 2000s. All right, just rock with me for a minute, all right? So I'm seeing gun violence. This one got shot, 3 got shot here. Somebody shot up at the mall. Someone got shot after the club. Someone got shot this, and someone, gun violence, gun violence, gun violence. And I'm seeing the same thing over and over and over. The same electric slide. You all just saw it on the clip that I just played. When are we going to stop doing the same thing over and over and over and expect a different result? Please answer this question for me. When are we going to stop doing the same thing expecting a different result? Clinically, that is considered what? Trey Cunningham, what's good with you, bro? What is that considered? That's considered insanity. Am I correct? Help me out. Insanity. Thank you, Leah. Leah Griff. That's insanity. Something has to change in order to change the vicious cycle. You going out there to talk about gun violence is not going to stop gun violence. You talking about gun violence is not going to stop gun violence. If you too afraid of your own children enough to put units together on every level that Dr. Frances Cress Welsing talked about in her book dealing with the 9 areas of people activity, if you're not willing to put together those brave individuals that's willing to go talk to young people face to face, that's willing to go in the hood, that's willing to go and have these conversations, then do us a favor, sit your ass down somewhere, because your talking in the park ain't gonna do it. You having bouncing ball games and fun little things that kids can jump over and jump through hoops and all that kind of stuff, that's not gonna resolve or solve the problem. That's not gonna resolve any of the issues that are really caused by racism, white supremacy, but we're not even gonna go that deep, because as soon as we start talking like that, you turn a deaf ear. And you think, but because somebody worked for the city council or somebody worked for the government or the city of Atlanta or South Fulton County or Georgia, whatever, that's not gonna cut it, man. The people that's going to solve this issue with the gun violence in every city are the people that's already in the street. The people that already talked about it and already have the solutions, but you overlook us. All right. So as soon as I bring up a conversation like this today, dealing with brainwashing techniques and this whole idea of transhumanism, it's like, oh man, that stuff is too deep for me. As soon as we start talking about the effects of social media, as soon as we start talking about the effects of cell phone usage and that kind of thing, oh, that's too deep. I don't want to hear it. So all you could do is get together, hold hands, and sing Kumbaya and pray to Jesus. That's not going to cut it. I'm telling you straight up, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. You do this year after year. You heard her say it. It's not going to stop us. We'll be out here next year. Doing what? Doing what? The police were already present and it still didn't stop someone from getting shot. The solution that we're looking for comes from within. Instead of looking outwardly at what could solve this issue, increasing police presence. They had the, what should I call it without sounding disrespectful? Stony Pebbles, what's up, bro? Stony P, what's good? Without sounding disrespectful, they came up with a plan to have police patrol units keep their blue lights on, as though that's going to stop criminals from doing what criminals do. I talked about the idea of the constitutional carry being signed by the governor here in Georgia, all right? Which didn't move anybody one way or the other. It should have increased the membership in gun clubs, and it should have increased those coming to class learning about firearms. It didn't. I guess they were expecting large numbers of people getting shot down and murdered. That's already on the rise, and it continues to grow. All right? The enemy public, send the general the greetings for me. All right? So this idea now of brainwashing, the question is, are we witnessing and living in a time where all those things that we talked about in the 80s, is it coming true? Are those things coming true? Are those things coming true? We talked about MK Ultra and MK Delta. We talked about them poisoning the food, them poisoning the air. We talked about fluoride in the water. We talked about aluminum in the underarm deodorant. All right? Even as we speak right now, we didn't even get into the subject too deep. Even as we speak right now, some people are clicking on and clicking off like, I don't want to hear it. And young people will continue to die violent deaths because you're the kind of individual, you want to turn a deaf ear to it because you don't want to hear it. Until it's your cousin, until it's your nephew, until it's your son, until it's your husband and your boyfriend and your uncle getting shot down. You saw on the news in Atlanta how the security guard died a brutal death. The man just walked up to him, pulled out a gun and shot him in the back of the head. Right here in Atlanta, a couple of weeks ago. Gun violence is on the rise, and talk is not going to get it. We need to, if we're going to talk, we need to talk directly to young people and come up with programs that's going to affect young people's lives immediately. All right? Miss Michi, you absolutely correct. X-Clan, Public Enemy, KRS-One, all of us did what we could do with putting that information out there. Stop the Violence campaign. We all in the same gang. We are the world. I could name song after song that spoke to this. Rally after rally. We've marched before. All right? We've sang before. We've held hands and prayed before. All right? But I'm saying to you, if we don't take a direct approach in talking to young people directly, you see, what the issue is those of us, you're right, self-destruction. Thank you, positive soul. If we don't take a direct approach and activate those individuals that are already in the hood, that's not afraid to talk to young people, and get out there and get in young people's faces so we can have the conversation with them, yeah, they're not going to stop. We need to get to the crux of what the issue is, to the core of what it is. We hanging out dealing with branch knowledge, while at the root, young people are online studying on their own. All right. So young people are basically saying, look, if I can't get it, because the little $10 hour job is not working. All right. It's not going to work. Rent is going up, prices are going up, food is going up, gas is going up. What do you think is going to happen when they tighten the economic belt in every neighborhood, every city? What do you think is going to happen? They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. All right, I'm going to get off the soapbox because this is Serious Minds. And I hope the people that have paid attention, have been on here for a minute, and that tune in already know that we kind of deal with actual facts. We keep it factual, actual, factual. All right. But that is the energy and the level that I want to have this conversation with. All of the talk is over. What are you going to do? All right. Doc, what's good with you, bro? All right. The talk is over. All right. Each one teach one, you right. So listen. So a friend of mine from the West Coast, Siddiqui Bakari, for years and years and years and years, probably the number one individual, all right, among us that I know that deals with transhumanism. Look this brother up, Siddiqui Bakari. All right. Shout out to Siddiqui. Okay. So now, we're going to talk about transhumanism. Transhumanism is a philosophical and intellectual movement which advocates for the enhancement of the human condition by developing and making widely available sophisticated technologies that can greatly enhance longevity and cognition. Morphing humans with machines. Rage Against the Machine. All right? Morphing humans with machines. Is this going to solve the problem? I had to pause on that because I've just kind of let it marinate. I.e. the jab. Thank you. Are we seeing the end results of the jab? The overhand right, the left hook. We're seeing the results of it right now. Are people dropping dead? Is this an intellectual movement? Are we buying into it? Literally, are we buying into it? Have you bought into it? Tell me right now, and don't front. You're distracted right now because your $1,200 iPhone 13 got you locked. It wakes you up. All right. You set the alarm to go to bed, notifications, whatever. You probably got notified that I was on via your phone. All right. Am I right or wrong? But are we in control of it, or is it in control of us? Quantum age trolling. Okay. The phone is now part of your body. Okay. Come on, talk to me. Let's just dive a little bit deeper. Help me out, fam. Now, we way past the conflict resolution. We're at the point where now you can't even resolve the conflict because there's no way to communicate to young people because they communicate in code and they communicate dealing with 140 characters, of which you are locked out of the conversation if you're my age. Help me out and tell me I'm lying. I want to be in that situation where I'm not telling the truth. You're right, it's a two-edged sword. But help me out, though. So you came from Pete Rock's page over here, Candy? That's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying. Because I think what's happening is, intuitively, you are looking and searching for truths All right. And because Pete Rock and Professor Griff in some way on that have that same connectivity in reference to that a biblical chord, because we pulling from the same mother energy, feminine energy. Not to say that we're feminized, not to say that the woman has to rule over the man. All right. The woman now is looking inwardly as opposed to looking outwardly at the man for that particular guidance. And there's nothing wrong with looking at a positive, looking towards a positive man for that guidance. But men need to find themselves first. All right. So yeah, they're going to weaponize technology to use it against us. Because right now, if another rapper come up on the scene, little this one, young that one, with some violent name attached to young killer, you understand what I'm saying? Whatever. This is the vibration and the frequency that they're on. So in order for you to even talk to them, you got to speak their language. And I see older people trying by you trying to play the music, and young people look at you like you crazy. Because you break a damn leg and dislocate your goddamn hip trying to do some of these dances that young people do. Stop playing. Act your goddamn age. That's one of the issues right now. You trying to hang out with young people and be their goddamn friend instead of being the adult that you're supposed to be and help guide young people. For real. So we talked about Operation Mockingbird. Thank you, Scarecrow. All right. We talked about all these mind control operations that went on, and now we're seeing the end result of it. Now, for the young rapper that's listening to this, don't get offended. But your music has been weaponized against you in order for you, all right, to neutralize those individuals that had the ear of the people. Did not Dr. John Henry Clark have the ear of the people? Did not Dr. Ben, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Anthony Browder, Runoka Rashidi, Professor Small, Professor Simmons, Shashi McIntyre, Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, and Dr. Rosalind Jeffries. I mean, I could go on and on and on to some of the more contemporary voices that are out there right now. Regardless of what you think about some of these individuals that I just mentioned and some of the ones that I'm thinking about, but I'm not mentioning. Some of the voices that are out there now, all right? They're doing everything to quiet those voices down. When you see critical race theory come up in the news, know and understand that that's an attack on you. But you see, it's a frontal attack, but you don't even see the attack because you don't take pride in your history. Someone else has taught you their version of our history and you've fallen for it. So then when we take our education and getting knowledge and stuff in our own hands and we speak up and speak out, all of a sudden now they come along with this critical race theory. And then now the artificial and the algorithms, which have a certain degree of artificial intelligence built in it, are launching a frontal assault on a digital level, right? And you don't even see it. That brings me to my next point. Elon Musk, which some of y'all, I see your TikTok talking, ticking, whatever, and you're praising this man, bragging about how much money this dude got. Do y'all know this dude's history? We're not going to dive into the history of Elon Musk, but if he's purchasing Twitter, what do y'all think that's about on a bigger scale? Do you think it's affecting young people and how they communicate with one another, always having to communicate through 5G, 6G, 140 characters, trying to out-algorithm the algorithm, trying to outsmart it? If you're playing on their playing field, they got the home court advantage. You're not going to outwit the algorithm. Candy, you on it. I hear you and I see you, but they are poisoning the frequency and they're interrupting the frequency. So some people are sitting in lotus positions right now trying to meditate with their computer on and the phone in the room and the TV playing in the background. Not good. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we start talking about transhumanism and brainwashing. I'm going to put something up on the screen. I want y'all to check it out. Let me know if you can still hear my voice once I put it up on the screen. All right. Just rock with me for a minute, fam. Hold on. All right. I'm talking. Can y'all still hear me? I want you to take a look at this and tell me what you think. Shout out to Connecting the Dots. Hold on for a second. Connecting the Dots information that I received. Thank y'all very much. Connecting the Dots said, in order for transhumanism to be effective, you must first have to make humans willing to reject being human. Come on, fam. Talk to me. Can y'all still hear me on YouTube? Hold on. Let me go back. Can y'all still hear me? Quan, you still hear me? Good. Okay, here we go. All right. Check this out. So, is this what we want? Same picture, different activity. Shopping, you're sitting down at a computer. School, sitting down at a computer. Checking your mail and sending mail out, sitting down at a computer. Work, sitting down at a computer. Meetings, you're at a computer. You're relaxing, you're at a computer. News, you're getting your news via the algorithms. All right, now I'm talking about Rage Against the Machine now. We're talking about transhumanism. Art, you're at the computer. Sex, you're definitely online at the computer. Movies, bills, you're chatting, communicating, you're at the computer. What is wrong with this picture, fam? Come on, talk to me. Come on. Something is very wrong with that picture. Am I correct? Something is very wrong with that. Let me finish reading to you what was sent to me by Connecting the Dots. In order for transhumanism to be effective, you must first have to make humans willing to reject being human. In other words, to make transhumanism, you first have to make humans transcend being human. Have technology, and these diabolical ones, Elon Musk, have they created this dynamic? Have they made humans transcend being human? Where is the human aspect of you resolving your conflicts by shooting one another down? Back to square one. Back to the subject matter. What's so human about that? To the point where Russia is invading the Ukraine. Most of you Negroes didn't even know where Ukraine was. Didn't even know how to spell it. Right? But yet, we have black people flying off, digging up their old army gear from the attic and from the basement, going over to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine. It almost looks like looking at a bird trying to bark like a dog. It's like, what you doing? Like, what you doing? I'm just curious. Because if this is not what we've talked about, I heard my elders, oh wow, and now my ancestors talk about it. Hold on for a second, fam. Let me pull this back to me. I've heard, whoa, hold on for a second. I've heard my ancestors and my those individuals that I came up sitting at the feet of. I heard them talking about it. And then running with Steve Coakley, I talked about it. Putting it in songs. We talked about it through some of the Public Enemy songs, and other artists talked about it. What is the dude's name that ended up over there on the news fighting for Ukraine? Oh, here we go. Malcolm Nance. This idea of transhumanism, though. Are there brainwashing techniques that we covered back then in full effect now? What is Operation Mockingbird? Somebody help me out. Somebody talk black to me, as we used to say. Top 10 brainwashing techniques. All right, hold on for a second. Let me share my screen so we can kind of, let me let y'all see what we're dealing with. Top 10 brainwashing techniques. Get a pen and piece of paper real quick, family. I'll wait on you. So if we're talking about mind control, what were the mind control programs and what were the mind control experiments that they were doing on the people? And have they now digitized the mind control programs now and built them into and interwoven into the algorithms? And to Mr. Malcolm Nance, what is going to be your end game? What's the outcome? While Ukrainians are still calling you nigger, and you over there fighting to free Ukrainians from the Russians, who are basically the same people, bruh, we're not going to talk about you. We don't do that here. But, bruh, do not give me abbreviated names. I need, talk to me, fam. So they're doing it through education. Thank you. Operation Mockingbird, CIA runs the news. Thank you very much. Religion, money. So you're right, Quan. He gonna get a pat on the back from white people. Probably get back home and get pulled over by the police and get shot down. Like our brothers were getting lynched coming from the war, coming from fighting all of the wars that America's been involved in, coming back home and not getting any justice, not receiving any justice. Some people got murdered and lynched with the uniform on. Let's talk about it so we can close this out, all right? The top 10 brainwashing techniques. The term brainwashing was invented by reporter Edward Hunter during the Korean War to describe the re-education techniques that the Chinese used on captured American soldiers. The term has since become associated with cults, which often use a combination of psychological methods to render their members compliant. Are you compliant? Thank you, Samuel. The Stockholm Syndrome. You've identified with your enemy so much so that your enemy now becomes your friend, and you will fight your friend to defend your enemy against your enemy. Not against theirs, because you their enemy, but you fighting their enemy. And the person that you think is your friend. So it says the term has since become associated with cults. How is that? See, you need to be rooted and centered, family. The word cult is the root word to culture. There's nothing wrong with cults, but defined by who these individuals are dealing with psychological warfare on a covert level, they make you think that a cult is something very negative. They said they use psychological methods to render their members compliant. Are you compliant? Are you compliant? Let's look at some of these things. The psychologist Margaret Singer argued that at any given time, around 2.5 million people in the U.S. alone are members of cults known to use brainwashing techniques. Where do you learn these brainwashing techniques? In order to incorporate these brainwashing techniques into what is considered a cult, all right? However, the idea of brainwashing has always been controversial. Hunter was associated with the intelligence community. So they practice this in the intelligence community. Name some intelligence communities, family. Iron mixed not with miry clay. Okay. Okay. Starting at number 10. The top 10 brainwashing techniques. Chanting and singing. Not the chants that the Eastern philosophy does. Not the singing that your grandmama do in the kitchen or that you do as a mom nursing your child. Not that singing. All right? Yes, of course, Edward Bernays. We can study him. As I mentioned in my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop. All right. The act of chanting mantras is an important feature by many religions, especially Buddhism and Hinduism. And almost every church has some sort of hymn singing worship. What is wrong with that? Unless you take it and then you weaponize it, then it becomes a problem. Number 9, isolation. Isolation. Listen to the language of people that don't want to be bothered, that they don't even like people anymore. They stay in their phone and they stay online. And they have friends, I take it, on the internet. Facebook has become your friend. Twitter and TikTok and YouTube has become your friend. My followers, my friends on social media, stop that. In 1977, Jim Jones and around 1,000 members of his People's Temple religious group moved to an isolated commune in Guyana. Some 400 kilometers, 250 miles out of jungle separated from the United States Embassy in the Guyanese capital of Georgetown. All right, in which they were drugged, all sipped the red Kool-Aid, and died. Cults geographically isolate themselves, which was parallel to by a mental one. So that whole idea of this mental state. All right. Dependency and fear. All right. 1974, which is number 8, dependency and fear. All right. In 1974, abduction of the heiress Patty Hearst by Symbionese Liberation Army is a classic example of brainwashing via dependency and fear. Hearst was quickly transformed from a young socialite into a bank robber and apparently committed member of a terrorist organization after she was captured. Miss Patty Hearst. Number 7, activity pedagogy. All right. How does a teacher encourage good behavior and conformism from their students? The answer is often involves integrating some kind of physical activity or sport into their teaching. And I see with this list, they're always attacking the Eastern philosophies. Yoga, meditation, martial arts. You following me? And this is very critical. All right. Six, sleep deprivation and fatigue. Listen, family. Have you said it recently? Man, I'm always tired. Have you said it recently? Damn, what's today? Man, I'm losing track of my days and the time. This is part of it, fam. All right? We need to understand this particular dynamic. This is part of it. A combination of sensory overload, disorientation, and sleep deprivation crumbles our ability to make good decisions. Sleep deprivation. Remember Prince, the purple one? What did he say? He said, I haven't been to sleep in days. That's some of us right now. Not making good decisions because of sleep deprivation. Not having a good mental diet, physical diet, spiritual diet to balance some of these things out. Candy, that's not good being isolated like that. We got to talk to people that inspire us, that motivate us, that challenge us. All right? A cult technique sometimes used in conjunction with sleep deprivation involves instructing members to follow special diets containing low amounts of protein and other important nutrients. All right? Five, self-criticism and finger-pointing. During the Korean War, American soldiers captured by Chinese were subject to criticism and self-criticism, sessions in which they had to denounce fellow prisoners, discuss their own faults. That's what we're going through right now as we speak. Right now as we speak. Are you POWs? Are you prisoners of war? Listen, the average meal that you get from McDevil's, all right, Murder King, Toxic Hell, Drunken Donuts, Dairy Queer, Kentucky Lied Chicken, Slop, The Awful House, White Hassles, Pizza Slut, all these places, that's not enough to sustain you. You have to put living foods in a living body. Am I right or wrong? Them meals from those places I just mentioned, all right, will not sustain you. I saw it on the news tonight about vitamin D, not getting enough vitamin D. Vitamin D supplements and getting out in the sun, putting your feet, your crusty, ashy, fungus-ridden feet in the damn dirt, in the grass, on the earth, getting some sun, bathing in the sun. Well, I didn't mean to come down so hard on your feet. Just get some shea butter or something. But I'm just saying. Number 4, love bombing. Cults wish to reinforce the impression that the world outside the group is threatening and gravely in error. And the only one that loves you is us. The only one that loves you is our circle, our people. So much so, we can't even get together to save our own lives. So much so, we can't get together. We would rather run and jump on a flight and take up arms to go defend another people as opposed to staying here with boots on the ground defending ourselves. Three, mystical manipulation. Psychiatrist Robert J. Lifton argues that many cults rely on mystical manipulation to achieve total control of their followers. Mystical manipulation refers to the control of the circumstances or information by cult leaders to convey the impression that they command supernatural wisdom, divine favor, and magical powers. Stop that. Stop that. You're not the only one, all right, that can tap in to the divine essence. All of us can do it. You're not the only one that got God's phone number. Some of you Negroes in church be killing me, man. Giving money to this dude because he got a special connection to the Creator and he got God's phone number and you can't get it. Stop that, man. This mystical manipulation. Come on, man. We're going to close this out in a minute. Follow me now. No, don't follow me. You follow you. But just follow me right now on this. Don't follow me. I don't want no followers. I want you to follow yourself. Two, I don't even know what this is. Baratrous abuse. Baratrous abuse. Many cults employ lawyers to sue anybody who publicly criticizes them. Then you'll see that with one rapper, not mentioning his name, because I don't want him to think that I'm talking about him recently. Go on social media. He's talking about lawyering up and all this other kind of stuff. Many cults employ lawyers to sue anybody who publicly criticizes them, no matter how trivial the circumstances are or the criticism. Of course, the cults can usually afford to lose the lawsuits, whereas ex-cult members are often insolvent after giving their lives to the organization. Many ex-cultists are therefore in no position to mount an effective legal counterattack. The purpose of the lawsuit is to harass and discourage rather than to win. And this is what they do. All right. Well aware of the consequences of upsetting Scientologists, HBO preemptively hired 160 lawyers to defend their 2015 documentary, Going Clear. Woo. Last but not least, thought-terminating cliches. Thought-terminating cliches. After an important concept after Robert J. Lifton is the idea that totalitarian regimes are often relying on thought-terminating cliches to enforce conformity on their subject. And this is what I try to not necessarily ban, but what I try to stop on this platform, Serious Minds. Do not come on and you drop one or two words. That's a form of mind control and brainwashing. You're coming and you're just dropping one word and you're leaving. All right? Formulate a goddamn sentence. We are well able on here to think. All right? Oh, thank you very much, Voodoo Glitch. Let me put that up on the screen. The act or practice of bringing groundless lawsuits. Bar retry. Okay. Don't know what language that is. These are the 10 top 10 brainwashing techniques. Humbly speaking, I hope, and I'm serious, I'm not just saying this to say this to tag on to the end of the program or the show. I don't like using program because I'm not trying to program people. All right. I truly hope that you pulled something from this hour-long conversation. All right. I'm not trying to brainwash people into coming on at a certain time. I just said, whosoever will, let them come. All right. Normally I come on between 7 and 9. It depends on what the day. I didn't know that the bird was going to fly into the house today, and I get called to do some bird watching. They said, well, since you watch birds, it's probably one of your birds trying to get in here and get some vegan food or something. I don't know. But anyway, so family, support the platform by going on my website, www.professorgriff.me, and purchase some Serious Minds Brain Tonic. Serious Minds Brain Tonic. Let me pull this back in. Serious Minds Brain Tonic. www.professorgriff.me. Quan, if you're still on it, can you put the website up? All right. Family, get back to being centered. All right. Meditate. All right. If you really into getting your prayer on, by all means do that. Stay connected, however you do it. All right. And of course, the resurrection formula. I need not say what this is. Y'all already know. All right. And yes, Sandra, I still have some Public Enemy snapbacks. All right. Whatever it is that you need to get, I'm just saying to you, fam, whichever one suits you, whether it's a snapback, whether it's the classes that I'm giving, or whether it's the Serious Minds Brain Tonic or the Resurrection Formula, support the platform. All right. What if you just want to give a donation? You can do that too by hitting the Cash App $ Professor Griff. It is this kind of information that we need to come on and share with one another, because you may say, well, I already know about this stuff, Professor Griff. Well, there's some people that just don't. Sandra Smalls, I think I got one or two laying around somewhere that's left. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jonathan G. Really appreciate you. He said, yes, Griff. Always a good conversation and good information. Thank you very much, good bro. Really appreciate y'all. S.L. Smith, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Quan. All right. If you would like to support independent black media, you can do so. You can donate to the Cash App. That's $ Professor Griff. All right. Or go to www.professorgriff.me and just support the platform in that way by purchasing something. Thank you very much, Candy. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you very much, Quan. All right. This is Professor Griff. Serious minds attract serious minds. Seriously. All right. Love y'all to life, fam. It's Professor Griff, and I am... Let me stop that. No, I'm not out. I failed to mention by any means necessary. You got to register for it now because it's happening May 22nd, May 22nd, 2020. That's Sunday, May 22nd. All right. It's a defensive shooting firearms training, developing an urban tactical mindset in St. Louis, brought to you by the Zulu Shooters Gun Club. All right. The Zulu Shooters Gun Club, fam. All right. Can y'all do that for me? All right. And of course, thank you to everyone that came out to bring the noise yesterday. And we have coming up on May 8th, Guns N' Roses, the Women's Handgun and Self-Defense Fundamentals. Yours truly, Professor Griff, doing the instructing on Sunday, May 8th. All right. We're handing out roses. All right. Roses and guns that day. All right. We have to get trained, family, to defend ourselves. All right. Not defending property. Not defending your car, all right, or anything like that, but defending us as a people, all right? And then last but not least, will Black America survive the enemy's death plots? Myself and Dr. Scott Whitaker, May 15th at 3 p.m. in Jacksonville, Florida. That's Sunday, May 15th, all right? We need you to register now. Hit your brother, Professor Griff, up at 678-557-2919. All right. Love y'all to life. Serious minds attract serious minds. Seriously. Now I can go. All right. Peace. Greetings, family. All right, this is Professor Griff. Of course, you all already know. Serious Minds R&T, of course, now Serious R. I want to welcome you to a very brand new course that I'm giving online. It's called Developing an Urban Tactical Mindset. You can register now at www.professorgriff.me. Once again, this is Professor Griff, and I'm welcoming you to Developing an Urban Tactical Mindset, a 6 weeks online course.
I don't know what happened to the black men in this community, Tommy. I don't know what happened to them.
The Alternative Black Studies online course with instructor Professor Griff. Sign up today at www.professorgriff.me and Serious Minds Institute.
They got their dashikis and their dreads and their this and that and telling you how to ramp it out here.
The Alternative Black Studies online course with instructor Professor Griff. Sign up today at www.professorgriff.me and Serious Minds Institute. The Alternative Black Studies online course with instructor Professor Griff. Sign up today at www.professorgriff.me and Serious Minds Institute. Thank you. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting cells and increasing neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. This is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Resurrection Formula. This male reproductive tonic elixir is the resurrection you've been looking for. It is a stimulating sexual tonic with mild androgen-like effects that is nourishing to the reproductive system. You can order them at www.professorgriff.me and www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Just call 678-557-2919. Your health is your wealth. Peace.